Elon Musk points us to this thread by saying, interesting thread, a Tesla Model 3 is ridiculously cheaper than a Prius. Wow, let's take a look. And it gets a lot better, not just cheaper in terms of total cost of ownership after fuel and maintenance costs, not just cheaper with the federal tax credits, but an equivalently optioned Toyota Prius costs more out the door in 15 major markets that I checked. Elon's goal, of course, we all know, is for Teslas to be affordable to the masses, and every year he gets a little bit closer. This sounds quite interesting. I'm intrigued. 2 weeks ago, some friends of mine were about to have a baby and wanted a new safe and fuel-efficient car. They looked at a Model 3 and a new Prius. I gave them some advice, and a day later, they sent me a picture of their new Model 3. This is the picture. What is interesting is that they were looking at a Prius and not at a car like a BMW. I mean, if you compare a Model 3, I think a BMW 3 Series is a pretty good car to compare. They are going to be different, but I mean, they are both pretty fast. Of course, the BMW 3 Series is a lot slower. I asked why they chose the Tesla Model 3, and they gave me the usual benefits. Safety, it's electric, better software, low maintenance, acceleration is great, comfort is great, storage is better because you have the frunk. We don't really use it much, but when you need it, it's when your car is fully full and you love having that frunk. But then they hit me with the big one. It was over $10,000 cheaper than a new Prius in Seattle. Crazy. I asked how that was possible, as the Prius supposedly starts at around $28,000 and the Tesla Model 3 starts at over $40,000. And they said by the time you add equivalent options that are standard with all Teslas, you get up to the limited trims. Then there's huge dealer markups. Matthew continues, I asked my Tesla sales rep for the out-the-door cost of a Model 3 in 15 major markets. This means MSRP plus delivery plus order fee, which comes to about $44,500, and local city and state tax and registration fees. He provided the breakdown below less than an hour later. That's pretty fast. On average, you can buy a Model 3 for about $40,000 after the $7,500 tax credit. That's still pretty pricey for most people. Here's the chart. I think actually we will come back to this later. There are some very interesting things going on here. Some states offer additional EV incentives to most buyers, like New Jersey's $4,000 rebate. Other states like California have income and household restrictions on their massive state subsidies that can bring the price of a Model 3 down to $24,398 out the door. Holy crap! That's that $25,000 vehicle that Tesla was talking about, basically. So hold on. If Tesla makes a $25,000 vehicle, does that mean you can basically buy a car for something like $5,000 then? We need to take a deeper look into this, but this is crazy. And just to be clear, this number includes all taxes and all other costs as well, but it also includes all the rebates. If you go to this URL, tesla.com/support/incentives, you will be able to see all of the incentives available, including federal, as well as every single state. So go ahead and check if your state has any other incentives. Some of these can be absolutely wild. Matthew continues, to determine the price of a limited Prius in each metro area, I used Toyota's convenient online reservation tool, SmartPath. This provided the OTD price and allowed for a reservation payment. Unfortunately, many dealers opted out of using it, and I had to contact some dealers via email and phone. That sounds like a hassle. And this is where things get really interesting. You will want to pay very close attention here. After some work, I got OTD prices of a limited Prius in most areas. Some areas did not have any available, so I had to choose lower trim level cars, XE and LE. In most northern states, only all-wheel drive vehicles were available, an upcharge of $2,500. But In every single metro area, the Tesla was cheaper without any tax credits, even when compared to the lower trim XE and LE models. On average, for a Prius, you would be paying $47,000, almost $48,000. That is crazy. I mean, if you like a comfortable car, a Prius is a pretty decent option. Not as good as a Tesla, but certainly also not $48,000 good. And it continues. Every dealer I found, except for one outside Boston, had huge dealer markups as high as $13,568. The average dealer markup was $6,000. Some of these markups included unwanted, unneeded, expensive dealer accessories. Sounds like a huge pain in, where. Many of these cars were not yet on dealer lots, and every dealer told me that I needed to place a reservation now, as all of their Priuses sell out the first day or week they are on the lot. And the bottom line is, a Tesla Model 3 is cheaper by an average of $404 without any federal or state tax incentives. The Model 3 is cheaper by almost $8,000 with the federal tax credit. And if you qualify for state incentives, the Model 3 is cheaper by an average of $12,400. And everything is summarized right here. If anyone wants to buy a Prius, they have to see this first. I want to come back to this chart for a moment. Here you can see the lowest potential price, including all state rebates as well as the federal tax rebate. And some states have crazy high rebates, and some more than one. For example, right here you can see that in Los Angeles, not only, of course, you will get the federal tax credit, but then you can get extra $7,500, and then on top of that, extra $9,500, making the price of a vehicle under $25,000. And that is also true in San Francisco. Other states in the US also have some attractive subsidies, for example, right here in New Jersey. And this breakdown shows how much you would save if you went with a Model 3. With maximum savings, including all the subsidies and everything, compared to the Prius. And the difference is absolutely mind-blowing. Good job, Matthew. Moving on. If you thought that Leo Cogman, the billionaire all-in Tesla stock investor, is now perfectly happy with Elon Musk, think again. He is not. He says, stopping the abuse, the one, meaning Elon Musk, must buy Tesla stock in the open market as Warren Buffett's successor, Greg, who bought 55 Class A shares at a price of $447,000 for about $24.5 million. Berkshire shares rose 1% Tuesday. Yeah, not much. Didn't rise much. This is quite exciting. Time runs fast. Tesla's Giga Berlin factory officially opened up 1 year ago today. The factory now employs over 10,000 people and makes over 4,000 Model Ys per week. Gary Black yesterday said we are getting a Tesla stock dip that many wanted before Q1 deliveries report. Gary says treasuries plunged, which is good for growth equity such as Tesla stock. Hope folks who were waiting for the dip are buying. I just dollar cost average, so I just buy regularly every month, so doesn't matter to me really. I just buy always basically. But check this out. We have agencies, government bodies that are worried about full self-driving that Tesla is trying to deploy. But in the meantime, Dick Van Dyke, who is now 97 years old, I can't believe he's that old now, crashes his car into a gate in Malibu. The former head of Tesla Australia was sentenced in the Sydney District Court to 2 years and 6 months in prison. That is quite a harsh punishment for a $20,000 profit, right? Although he was immediately released on a good behavior bond, Australia's securities regulator said on Tuesday. When I saw the headline that he was sentenced for 2.5 years for making $20,000 from inside trading, that sounded really harsh. I mean, insider trading, that's absolutely terrible, but he really sucked at it. Meanwhile, Bloomberg is reporting here that Silicon Valley Bank's loans to insiders tripled to $219 million before it failed. Can you spot anything unusual and really weird on this chart right here? How come no one is going to jail? This is some serious insider trading. I mean, we are not talking about $20,000 here. This is $200 million. Crazy. That story just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.